As most of you know, the tech world has been a little bit slow for the past few weeks, but Apple is about to shake things up and they're gonna go all out this year with some new products coming next month. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about the products that Apple is most likely to reveal. I'm gonna dig deep into the specs and prices of each product, and I'm gonna discuss everything else that we should expect from Apple next month. First off, we just got our very first rumor of there being an Apple event on March 16th. According to the Economic Daily News. Now, even though this date is a bit sooner than the usual late March Apple event dates, we did have an Apple event on March 9th in 2015, and Apple did reveal their 2020 iPad Pro on the 18th last year. So there is a very real possibility that we could be seeing an event on March 16th next month. However, Mark Gurman, a very reliable leaker, tweeted that there will be no Apple event on March 16th. He even said in a separate tweet that, quote, there won't end up being one. So I don't know if that means that there's no March event at all, or if it'll be on another date in March, but one little piece of evidence pointing to no March event is that late last week, Apple released a huge amount of Apple TV Plus content, including some new previews and trailers. I honestly thought that this stuff would have been shown off at a March event. So what if Apple decided to scrap the entire event at the last minute and decided to just release this Apple TV Plus content online? So I'm not really sure if there's gonna be an event or not, but I do know that they will 100% release a bunch of products, which I'm about to talk about in this video, even without an event, which is what they did last year. So with that, let's get into which products to expect from Apple next month, starting with something they revealed at their 2019 March event, Apple Arcade, which has been slowly growing over the past couple of years, but it hasn't really taken off like Apple hoped it would. And last year in June, Apple apparently canceled some arcade games because it just wasn't working out like they thought it would. But just a couple of months back, in October, Apple was reported to be investing massively into new, more engaging games. And as you all know, those types of games take a lot of time to make. So in my personal opinion, if there will be an Apple event next month, I think Apple is preparing some awesome new Apple Arcade game trailers to be revealed at the event next month. And since they're going to be focusing on Apple TV software, I think it's also the perfect time for new Apple TV hardware, which has been rumored for months now, so let's get into those leaks. Last year in August, Bloomberg reported that a new Apple TV is in the works with an upgraded remote. And then in October, the tweeter leaker Fudge claimed that an A14X performance simulating Apple TV was sent out to Apple Arcade developers some time ago. Fudge also said that 2 new Apple TV models are in the works for release in 2021. And then in December, Nikkei also reported that Apple is working on a new Apple TV for a 2021 release. And then just a few days later, Mark Gurman from Bloomberg said the exact same thing, except this time he called it a gaming-focused Apple TV with an updated remote. And he also said that there's going to be a much stronger gaming focus, which would be perfect if Apple were to release some new high-end Apple Arcade games. This makes a lot of sense because we've been seeing reports of a brand new gaming controller coming ever since Left to Dream mentioned it last year in April, which will support the Apple TV and basically every other Apple device. Fudge also claimed that a new gaming controller was coming, and we've continued to see reports of that over the past few months. So basically, I'm expecting a new Apple TV with an A14X chip, which is gonna have crazy good performance, but I'm also expecting a replacement for the regular Apple TV HD, since there are 2 models that are rumored. And to make it even more interesting, there were reports back in 2018 that Apple would be releasing a low-cost Apple TV dongle, which would be meant for those who just want to watch TV content. And this would totally make sense if Apple has a gaming-focused high-end Apple TV for those who want to do some gaming as well. The only problem is that we did recently get a report saying that the new Apple TV isn't coming until the end of the year, but I personally don't think that's gonna happen because we've been seeing so many leaks and rumors recently pointing to a release date much sooner than that. And now, with all of that Apple TV stuff out of the way, let's move into the absolute star of the show, and that's going to be the release of the brand new 2021 iPad Pro. We've been seeing rumors about a new iPad Pro for almost a full year when Ming-Chi Kuo said that Apple was working on a mini LED iPad Pro. And of course, because of the pandemic, we saw many reports saying that it's going to be delayed until 2021, and Kuo once again confirmed that we will in fact be getting a mini LED display. And then ET News took it even further, saying that it's going to launch in the first quarter of 2021. And the same rumor came from DigiTimes as well, which would mean that the new iPad Pro would have to be released before the end of March. So I'm basically 100% sure that it's going to be released at Apple's March event if they have it, or if not, then it's going to be an online launch. My only concern is that the 11-inch model is going to get discontinued, but both Fudge and Love to Dream on Twitter pointed to there still being two models. And recently, leaked CAD images were leaked with both 11-inch and 12.9-inch sizes, so that seems much more likely to have both. One thing I am confident about is the specs. It's going to get a mini LED display, and it'll also come with the A14X chip, which is going to be extremely similar to Apple's M1 Mac chip, except that it's not going to have all of the other Mac-specific hardware. All I know is that it's going to be extremely powerful, and it most likely is not going to come with a new design since it just recently got redesigned, and it seems like Apple wants to stick with the same modern flat side design for a while. And I personally think that the price tag is going to be staying basically the same, $800 for the 11-inch if it does come out, and $1,000 for the 12.9-inch. So I'm personally very excited to see what Apple has in store for the next iPad Pro, but we are also expecting one more iPad next month, and that's the iPad mini. I'm almost 100% sure that it's coming because it's the only iPad that hasn't been updated in basically 2 full years. Every other iPad was updated last year, so we should be seeing a new iPad mini next month, and we have some leaks and rumors to support that. Way back in May of 2020, Ming-Chi Kuo said that we should be expecting 2 new iPads, a 10.8-inch iPad in the second half of 2020, and an 8.5 to 9-inch iPad mini in the first half of 2021. That 10.8-inch iPad turned out to be the iPad Air 4, which received a full redesign with a new rounded corner display, flat sides and back, finally a USB-C port, and a new Touch ID power button. But we still haven't seen the mini, so I think it's going to come next month because even DigiTimes said we should be expecting it to come alongside the new mini LED iPad Pro in the first half of 2021. The main takeaway is the display size, which should be at least 8 inches, potentially up to 9 inches, which means that it's almost certainly getting a full redesign with a rounded corner display, just like the iPad Air 4. We should also be expecting it to get the same flat sides and back, as well as the same exact Touch ID power button. But while the Air gets a USB-C port, some rumors are pointing to it actually sticking with Lightning, which is really weird, but it might make sense since the budget iPad is still using Lightning. I also expect it to get the same A14 Bionic chip as the iPad Air has, and I kind of doubt that Apple will be giving it the mini LED display right away, but I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see. And I think the price tag will be somewhere between $400 and $500 since they bumped up the iPad Air's price by $100 compared to the previous model. So that's basically it for the iPads, and now we just have one final product that we should be expecting, and that's the Apple AirTags. These things have been rumored for a very, very long time, and Jon Prosser even showed us some renders of the AirTag. And apparently, Love to Dream on Twitter says that we should be getting 2 different sizes of AirTags. And just last week, we got some more rumors from Jon Prosser, saying that the AirTags are scheduled to launch in March alongside the new iPad Pro, so I'm pretty confident that they're coming. Apart from that, we are expecting some new AirPods, both the Airpods 3 and the Pro 2s. but I'm really not sure if they're going to be coming next month or in April. I personally think that they're going to be coming in April because they're launching so many things in March already, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. So there you guys go. That's everything that you should be expecting from Apple's March event next month, or potentially just an online launch like they did last year. So if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and tap the like button and click the circle above to subscribe. Definitely check out one of those two videos right over there. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.